People make mistakes. People are also good. Sometimes people take you into the dark forest, then leave you there, halfway in, halfway out, leaving you there to figure out life on your own. But no one is alone. Fathers, mothers, are people too. They make mistakes, sometimes terrible mistakes. Mothers can be like witches, evil witches. Fathers can be like bumbling, murderous giants. But witches can be right, and giants can be good. It's only that they think they are alone. Do not hate them. Honor their mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes, even though we are not alone. My daughter once told me, all parents inflict irreparable psychological damage to their children. And she was looking me right in the eye when she said that. I know I was at times a bumbling, murderous giant. How about you? How about your parents? Were they perfect all the time? There was only one thing to do. Forgive your parents. If you have a friend and they have hurt you, set it aside. Forgive and forget. Witches can be right. Giants can be good. And what about you? Your mistakes. Can you forgive yourself? Is this easier or harder for you than forgiving another? Some people are on your side, some are not. The problem begins when we are seeing just our side and have forgotten that they are not alone. No one is alone. I am human. I pray that I will never stop being human, that my human consciousness will move on into eternity. The UU Church believes in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. They don't teach that people are good, but that they have worth, as they are, in their human imperfections. To claim that there is something wrong with us because we contain both good and evil is to ignore or negate the possibility that we, as humans, imperfect humans, have inherent worth, as we are. And yet, people are good in the eyes of God. They are good. If you are Muslim and devotedly following this path, then you can find freedom. If you are a Christian and find forgiveness of your sins through Jesus, then you are free. Whatever path you have chosen, we support you in this choice. In Unity, we teach that the way to freedom is to pray often and pattern your prayers using affirmative prayer. Acknowledge those parts of your character which no longer serve you and release them. Then look into the face of God and see yourself there, reflected back. And know with a certainty that this is who you are. When you know who you are suddenly strong. The kind of strength that has no opposite force to contend with. You are wise beyond all the knowledge of this human realm. You are, and nothing can disturb the brightness of your awareness of this. On the surface, it appears that the difference between born-again Christians and Unity is that these Christians asked Jesus to save them from their sins, and Unity, many but not all, claim to save themselves through self-correction, called affirmative prayer. That is, in fact, not so. All of us, no matter what religion or spiritual path we espouse, rely on grace. All of us experience something greater than ourselves, which steps in when the time is right and saves us. This something lifts us up. It does for us what we cannot do for ourselves. That is grace. I believe in grace. What has this something been for you? Who has given you grace? You are the only one who can answer these kinds of questions. The ultimate kind of prayer is one in which you are embraced by a higher power, and you then know who you are. But who you are will not be who you were before grace. Let me see that again. Who you are will not be who you were before grace. So, just remember, someone or something is on your side. No one is alone. Here is a story about a ship approaching the harbor on a dark and tempestuous night, when not even a star was visible. It was the harbor of Cleveland. The captain, noticing only one light as they drew near, that from the lighthouse, asked the pilot if he was quite sure that this was Cleveland Harbor, as other lights should have been burning at the harbor mouth. The pilot replied that he was quite sure. Whereupon the captain inquired, "Where are the lower lights?" "Gone out, sir," replied the pilot. "Can you make the harbor then?" asked the captain. To which the pilot answered, "We must, sir, or perish." Bravely, the old man, the pilot, steered the vessel upon her course toward safety. In the darkness, he should have missed the channel. He should have been driven into the rocks in the storm-tossed sea. Many people should have been lost that night. But suddenly, a light appeared on the shore. Then another and another. The path through the channel was suddenly made clear, and the pilot adjusted his course and followed those lights. Yes, the lighthouse was needed, but so were the smaller lights. In this particular harbor, there also needed to be a second light on the shore, which, when lined up with the lighthouse, would indicate the exact location of the channel, which gave safe passage to the harbor. And why was that ship not lost on that particular night? Because someone on the shore had noticed that the smaller lights had gone out and relit them. The Master will take care of the great lighthouse. Let us keep the lower lights burning. In other words, we need the Lord, but He cannot do it without help. We are that help. As Charles Fillmore taught, we, the human race, are the creative expression of God, His hands and His voice. The bestowal of grace is a cooperative effort. With our help, the course of man's journey through life can be corrected. The deep waters of the channel entered and the harbor reached in safety. And as they walk along the pier, they raise their voice in gratitude for the lower lights. Here are the words of a popular hymn based on this story. Brightly beams our Father's mercy from his lighthouse evermore. But to us he gives the keeping of the lights along the shore. Let the lower lights be burning. Send a gleam across the wave. Some poor, fainting, struggling seaman you may rescue, you may save.